What's up guys, Jeff here, and today we got a brand new video for you. What we're going to be doing is trying to find the 5 best springtime lures that I can possibly get for 25 bucks. We're over at Cabela's. We're going to run inside, see what we can get, so let's get after it.
This actual lure or an action figure?
It's a pretty good lure. It's inside the pectoral fin right there. So when the fish bites it, it's almost like a weed guard at the same time.
But, okay, it's squishy.
Yep.
So what you going fishing for?
Bass eventually, as soon as water opens back up.
You don't like freezing your butt off out in the eye?
I'll go out. I will go out.
Last time I went fishing, I went shark fishing. That was fun.
Shark fishing?
Yeah.
That's on the bucket list. I haven't done that yet. Oh, I think I might have pulled it out too quick. I think I messed this all up. I did too.
Is that a camera?
Yep, it's a GoPro.
What kind of videos do you make?
Fishing videos. That's why we paid for the lures separate. It was a challenge video that I'm making. See if I could buy 5 lures under 25 bucks.
Each or all together?
All together. I exceeded my goal though. I was like 25 cents off.
Oh.
Better luck next time. Thank you.
Alright, so we are back from Cabela's. We got our receipt. And we got our 5 lures. They're gonna hopefully help us out a little bit this coming spring. So we're gonna look over these real quick, then we'll take a look at the receipt, see how I did, and talk through some of these really quick. So as far as jerkbaits go, the XPS, it's Extreme Performance Series from Bass Pro Shop. So it's their brand, a product, but as far as that coloration goes, I kind of like it. I don't really have any flat looking jerkbaits, so I think that this one probably will do pretty good this spring in those occasions where you don't really want a whole lot of flash. You want something a little bit more subtle. What these guys are like, I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna try them out, but a jerkbait is always a really good springtime bait to throw. Absolutely love throwing a jerkbait in the spring. Definitely in those colder waters, definitely a great bait for that. Then we got the Dark Sleeper. Now this one was introduced to me via a fellow fisherman. First I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not 100% certain on it, but we went out fishing one day and he started to light them up. As far as smallmouth go, this is a really good bait year round. Definitely is going to piss them off when they're on beds if you throw one of these guys in there. As far as largemouth, during the summer and late summer, fall, doesn't work that great for largemouth, but something about this bait in the springtime is pretty phenomenal, and it actually can catch quite a few largemouth bass. So not only is it a good smallmouth bait in the springtime, it's also a really good largemouth bait. And this is the 1/2 ounce, which I'm going to be looking to try out the big boy this year and see how that works. A bigger profile, it's a little bit heavier. I'm gonna have to get a different setup for it, but definitely love throwing this guy, and I treat it pretty similar to how I would fish a jig. And since we're talking about jigs, we have the Pacemaker football head. This is the Flatline football jig. This is a pretty substantial profile football jig, and as far as the hook, it's a little stout. I would like to trim up that brush guard a little bit, but as far as the coloration on this, craw, you can't go wrong with that. It's a 3/4 ounce, so it's definitely a very large jig, and it's going to hit that bottom pretty quick. But as far as the spring goes, throwing a football jig, definitely a solid way to catch a couple of very large bass. The craw pattern is definitely going to produce some fish for you. Then we got the Chatterbait from Zman. This is the original, I believe. Yep, the original Chatterbait, 3/8 ounce, which I throw at 3/8 quite a bit. This is a green pumpkin, which is pretty standard. Well, this is a bait that definitely produces very large fish in the early spring, and can produce fish pretty much throughout the year. But as far as early spring chatterbait fishing, if you've never tried it, I definitely recommend checking it out, because it can produce some really sizable fish. Those big females that are moving up shallow, that are looking to feed up before the spawn, throw a chatterbait. You're not going to get a lot of bites, but when you do, it's definitely going to be worth it. And then last, and probably least, got a pretty large square bill here, the XPS, the Extreme Performance Series, another Bass Pro Shops product. The reason that I went with this guy is, one, it has a pretty big profile, and I don't have a lot of large square bills, which this one runs 5 to 6 feet, which is pretty good. But the main thing about this one is that it has that craw pattern. Square bills are a great search bait in the springtime, and using a craw pattern is going to double your chances, because crawfish tend to be a little bit more active than your fish or your bait fish that are around in the springtime. Alright guys, so that completes our challenge. I got all of these guys for a total of $25.58. So I exceeded that $25 mark a little bit. Taxes got me, but for the most part, if you're looking for 5 baits that are going to produce some decent bass this spring, take a look at some of these. You don't necessarily have to go with these brands if you're not tied to a budget, but if you are tied to a budget, got 25 bucks to spend on some lures, these are probably the 5 lures that you would definitely want to throw in your tackle box for this spring. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. That's going to do it for this one. I'll see you next week right here with a brand new video.